So you decided you might break up with that mean old cable company for good? Well, great. Now I'm going to teach you how to fish for streaming devices. Hey, what's up guys? My name is Brian and welcome to BondTech. On this channel, we've mostly focused on tech reviews and tutorials. Our goal here is to help you guys be able to fully utilize the technologies available to you. And yeah, we understand that technology can be a little bit unfriendly at times, and that's why we're here. We're here to help get you guys started. If you're new here, consider subscribing and be sure to check out the description box below for any related links. And with that said, let's start talking about the 4 steps to picking out a streaming device. Step number 1 is going to be looking at the resolution and the audio. This is actually a pretty straightforward step. Just make sure that the device can actually stream the content you plan on watching or you will be planning on watching in the future. For example, if you have a 1080p TV as of right now, you don't actually need a device that can stream 4K content because you can't even view the 4K content. But if you plan on buying a 4K TV in the near future, then make sure the device can stream 4K content because you don't want to have to go out and buy another device so that you can watch that 4K content. Some other things to keep in mind when you're actually looking at resolution and audio, make sure that it is available, it has the proper formats that are available to you, such as Dolby Vision or Dolby Atmos, HDR, HDR10+, anything that you may be wanting to view content-wise, make sure that the device actually supports it. The second step is to check out the wireless connectivity on the device. And what I mean by this is in general, it's 2019 and you should have devices that should be able to connect to your 5 GHz network at your house. And if you don't have a 5 GHz network or you don't have a router that can set up a 5 GHz network, that's okay. You can get a device that's only single band and can only connect to your 2.4 GHz network, which was the standard a few years ago. But connecting to that 5 GHz network is going to help a ton when it comes to preventing issues when you're watching content. Basically, 2.4 gigahertz networks are more congested than 5 gigahertz networks. So it really benefits when it comes to streaming a lot of content to be connected to that 5 gigahertz network. If you're interested in a bigger breakdown, let me know in the comments below. If I get enough interest, maybe I'll make a video on the difference between 2.4 and 5 gigahertz networks as well. The third step is to check out the platform/channels that you plan on viewing. 2 parts to this one. One is going to be your apps and channels. Make sure that whatever you plan on subscribing to, whatever on-demand and whatever live TV services you plan on subscribing to, have an app on that device. Obviously, if they don't, then you don't want to buy that device because you can't view that content, or maybe just pick a different service provider for the on-demand service as well as the live TV service. So it's really up to you. Just make sure that the device can actually use the content that you plan on subscribing to. And the second part of that, the step is the platform. What platforms are you comfortable with? In general, most of the devices out there nowadays are actually really good performers when it comes to just kind of the experience itself. But it really depends on what you like itself. I know Roku is very minimalistic. You don't have a lot going on the Roku's. Basically, you just have a bunch of channels, and you can click on whichever one you want to go to. And on Roku's, channels are apps. And you go, pick whatever app you want to go onto, Netflix, Spectrum TV, Hulu, HBO Go, whatever it is. You click on it, you go in, your content's there. But services like the Fire TVs, they're a little bit more in your face. There's a lot of stuff going on their actual platform. Some people might like that it just kind of spits out all this different content to you saying, hey, you might like this, you might like this, you might like this. While others might like the Roku platform of just, hey, we're gonna keep it as simple as possible. It's gonna be as basic as possible, and that's the way we like it. So just make sure that the platform. I would suggest going online, looking at a couple of reviews, and seeing kind of how the platforms actually look like, what they actually look like, and make a decision from there as well. And the fourth step I take when I'm purchasing a streaming device or looking at streaming devices is the extra stuff. Checking out what type of extra accessories per se that it has. And some of those examples are like Bluetooth, the different types of voice control, the controllers themselves, like the remotes themselves, whether it's a smart hub, this is not a really big deal to me myself, but for some people who want kind of like a media center, something that's going to control like the whole media center, it might be important to get a device that can do that. So so when it comes down to me purchasing it myself, I'm looking at the first three things, and then I'm looking at all these extras. Anything that might be a bonus if I'd ever decide to get like a Bluetooth soundbar, or if I ever want to kind of dive into the Alexa ecosystem a little bit more, because the Fire, for example, the Fire TV Cube can control so much. So those kind of extras can really kind of sway you, especially if there's one on the deal. So I would like to finish this video up with a couple questions that you guys may have that I actually haven't addressed yet in this video. And the first one's going to be price. What about price? Shouldn't that be like step number one? And I guess it kind of is. It's kind of like step zero. It's really kind of step zero, because for me, whenever I'm looking at anything, I'm always checking out the device and I'm trying to figure out how much I'm willing to spend. So that's kind of like before I even start looking at the devices themselves, like what is in the device and how I'm going to pick out the device. I know what price range I'm going to be in, so I'm only looking at the devices that are in there, and I know if I'm going to be a little bit flexible with that price range, and if if this one gives me more features on for this, then should I move up to that by spending a little bit more money? Again, I kind of would say that's like step zero. So you should know your budget up front. The second question that you guys might have is processor. A lot of times these boxes just like kind of display, oh, this is a quad core, this is a hexa-core, this is a dual core, whatever it might be. This might be this awesome processor on there. And does it really matter? And in my opinion, all the devices I've used, that includes Fire TV Stick, the Rokus, Chromecasts, Apple TVs. Like, I've used so many different devices, and quite frankly, yeah, some of them were smoother than others, but the processor really doesn't matter too much. It's just really kind of depends on what you want, depending on how smooth you want it. I will say, like, I've used the Fire TV versus the Fire TV Stick is totally different experience. The Fire TV is a little bit smoother, but the Fire TV Stick is, it's not as smooth. It's a little bit chunkier, but you'll really never really notice the difference between the two unless you're using them side by side. So you'll get used to it. It's not a big deal. For me, processor is not a big deal. It'll be, again, if it's able to stream 4K, it's able to stream 4K. You're not gonna have to worry about it. And the third question you guys might actually have is about storage. Does storage matter? And for the most part, the answer is no. I mean, you're gonna know if you need the storage for something specific like photos, that you would like to kind of just run through the photos. But for the most part, most people aren't going to need to worry about the storage, because there's plenty of storage for all the channels that you need. There are some cases that you might need storage, or more storage than the device has, but those are few and far between, and you should know if that's what you're looking into itself, if you're planning on downloading games or anything like that. So I hope you guys feel pretty comfortable going out there and shopping for your shiny new streaming devices. If you guys have any questions or you feel like I missed anything, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I'll do my best to respond. If you like this video, make sure you punch that like button. If you disliked it, you can kick that dislike button or do whatever you want to that dislike button. Be sure to subscribe, because it helps us a ton, and make sure you share this video to anybody you think that it might help out. And until next time, guys, I will see you later. Thanks.